Alrighty, I believe we're streaming. Waiting for YouTube to catch up. Alrighty, I believe we're streaming. And as the good doctor John Deloney once said, what up, what up, what up? Thanks for the thumbs up, whoever did that. Much appreciated. I am Coach Steve Money, and I'm your host, and this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow show number 511, I believe. Yes. And if you'd like my other financial content, you can see, just scroll past the Oak Island playlist. New episode tonight. Of course, that recap will be up late tonight for that new episode on an April Fool's Day. The Ramsey Show After Show playlist is right there. And there's also the Answering Your Financial Questions with me, and that is 137 episodes in that one. So many, many, many more hours than you could possibly want to hear me say that people are doing it wrong, which of course we know they are. Most people will, and you just got to expect that. And the music playlist has, in addition to the Lifestyle Creep song I talked about in the Ramsey Show chat today, typed a little of the chorus from that, and including that one, there's 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist, so give those a holler. And episode 500, of course, I sang every single one of them, including the debut of the newest one, When You're on Baby Step 2. No spending money to seem cool, do. When you're on Baby Step 2. So give that a shot if you are so inclined. Market report. And hey, look at that, it's up today. Imagine that. Why? Tariffs are still a thing, and supposedly that was the reason that it was down yesterday. What happened today to make it? People, traders are nutty. They're just nutty. Like I talked about yesterday, let's take a look at the S&P 500. Now, granted, you got your pandy. Let's go to 5 years so you can clearly see the pandy. Well, let's see. Is it 525? Oh, no. Oh, my. You can't even differentiate the pandy crash on here anymore. That was in 2020, wasn't it? Let's look at the max and see. Let's see. Is it right there? Oh, yeah, right there. Okay, so you can see it on the max view there in February of 2020. So there it is. And it doesn't look as scary now as it did back then when it looked much bigger on this list. But all of this, see, all of this could just be, if they didn't overreact to everything, all of this could just be a straight line. You can see my cursor. Can you? Yeah. No, oh yeah, my cursor might be catching up. But see, if you just took here and went a straight diagonal up to here, then, that would be what happened if people didn't react and they just kept investing. And they didn't overreact to every little thing and they bought whether it was up or down. It would be more like a straight line instead of this. But as you can see, it always comes back to a new high, and it will again. It was just a high on the, let's do 5 years so I can grab that better. That would be February 14th. S&P 500 was at a new high, and so it will go back to another one, despite what people think, no matter what the news has on it. No matter what the president, well, maybe not no matter what the president does, I imagine that some things could happen that would cause the stock market to crash, but it shouldn't be tariffs. That should not cause the stock market to crash. But it may. It may make it go down. of course, but then everybody will adjust to that. Let's see what we got. So we got mostly up here. The only thing down, the Dow Jones, and that's just by a little bit, 0.028%. And if you're not a math person, if you wanted to know the actual number on that, you would just add a zero. So that would be 0.0028 is the amount. Like of a dollar, that would be 0.0028. No, so excuse me, 0.028 of a penny is what that would be, or of a dollar, I'm sorry. Anyway, but that's how that works. So barely down, but the rest of it up. Barely up. The Russell Small Cap Index, of course, Russell 2000, and the Nasdaq the most up, which is not a surprise. Everything up in Europe, good for them. Almost everything up. And 3 out of 5 for the Asia. Let's see, which was a good band, supergroup back in the 80s. What was it? It was the heat of the moment. And don't cry now that I've found you. Alrighty, and there's no singing for today, probably. The US dollar is up against the euro, down to the Japanese yen, though, down to the British pound, love, down to the Canadian dollar, sorry, and down to the Australian dollar, mate. Not quite a complete world sweep of the United States on the currencies today, but close. Fortunately, the euro was lower. Futures, looks like that. Basically, the same that it did today. Just a little bit higher than it was today for the Nasdaq, S&P, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We have J.P. Morgan Chase and Company on the 11th. That's 10 days from now. All, of course, of the top 6 single stocks, followed by the most followed on Google. And these are basically the Magnificent 7, but without AMD in it. Or NVIDIA, excuse me, not AMD, NVIDIA. And the most up of the 3.59%, and Tesla, of course, going to be your most up or down any given day. That's generally it. And so let's see what NVIDIA did. NVIDIA was up 1.63%. And so, they were all down yesterday. And so making a little bit of that back. And of course, that's just how it works. I think that's it. This is from CNET.com. The Zelle app shuts down today. Here's how to send money instantly for free. Well, it's only the standalone app that shuts down. If it was already part of your bank's software, your bank's website, if the ability is already in there to do that, then you can still keep using it. So that part is continuing. But the problem is the transactions with the Zelle, within Zelle, the money transfers that were happening, only 2% weren't going like from bank to person or whatever. It wasn't like going through the bank. It was just only 2% was going like from a balance on the Zelle to somebody else. Everything else was being pulled from a bank account, and so your bank would have to offer it. And so they're just shutting down that 2% because it doesn't make sense to keep it going, I guess, for that low of a percentage. So, and they recommend other places. Let's see, other Venmo, PayPal. I advise PayPal. I use it myself. Apple Wallet and Cash App. I have that as well. $ Coach Steve Money for any donations. If you feel like you have too much money, you could send me a little bit if you like this content. And let's get into some questions. We did this one. What jobs actually allow middle-class living? How does one make more than $15 an hour? And I talked about that yesterday. Um, I don't remember what. I know I had something good for that. Oh, but this was the person that was that kept like changing the numbers around. How to make more than 15, and he already does make more than 15, or she. And here, ideally, I could get something paying just under 30 an hour, but I'll settle for 25 an hour or even 20 an hour. A college graduate really sound like a little kid talking like that and thinking in that way there. But call center, bill collecting, dead end job. Um, so the problem is, um, the problem, oh yeah, I remember what it was. I remember what it was. The problem is this 80K debt you had. If you didn't have that 80K debt, you need less money to live on. And then you probably could be in middle class if you weren't having to pay off this $80,000 worth of debt. And you're not using your college degree if you even graduated. Didn't say if, oh, it does say graduated. Graduated just doing call center bill collecting. Doesn't say what the uh, major was, but or what the degree was in. But you might want to get in your degree field. And if you took the wrong course, like underwater basket weaving, then you screwed up. And so you got to pay the piper. You got to pay this 80K. And so that you just gotta be smarter than that when you're picking a major. You can't do that. You got to be smarter. People that call the Ramsey show all the time that went to a private school to get a degree in social work and then make $30,000 a year. Private school. So we're talking about, well over $120, $120, yeah, $120,000, and they make 30K a year. So that needs to be checked into. You need to be smarter than that. And, hopefully you have adults around you, being an 18-year-old kid, deciding to go to private school and signing up for student loans. All that's dumb. And so hopefully you have adults around you that can take care of you better than that and say, don't do that. You're doing it wrong. No problem. 7882. Want to buy a home? All right. 26 female. Did I do this one? Planning to buy a home. Total credit card debt is 5K with both cards charged off. I have 3K that I want to use to cover one debt in full and the remainder rolling it into the other debt. Then finish the 2K over the next month. Yeah, don't do that dumb crap. Okay, so if they're charged off, you might be able to settle them for cheaper than that. So try that and definitely get that taken care of before you start to buy a house. So you have to have that debt taken care of, plus have your full emergency fund saved. If you want to buy a house, I recommend you have 6 months even before of expenses in your full emergency fund before you would even start the down payment. Because down payment is 3B and you're not doing that at the same time as you're doing the emergency fund. Oh, let's see what other ideas. Let's see, snowballing. If I live off rice and beans, I can save up to 1,000 paycheck after all bills are paid and throw it all in debt payment. Yeah, do that and more than that. Do whatever you can. After pausing 401k and HSA contributions, that's the way to do it. Leaving me with 500 for emergency per paycheck. That's not how that works. You don't save an additional 500. You would have the $1,000 emergency fund. So if you don't have that, you would apply that 500 off the next check to that. But otherwise, you don't do this dumb crap that you're doing. The baby steps don't say to do that. It says specifically here, step 1, save $1,000 as fast as possible. This is the subreddit, Dave Ramsey's subreddit version of them. They wrote their own version. but it's pretty close to the actual one. The actual one is save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund, and it doesn't say save extra or save another $500 for emergencies each paycheck. It doesn't say that bull crap. It says after you finish the $1,000, you go to step 2, and then you pay off all your debt. You put all the money to debt instead of doing dumb stuff. Question is it worth it to pay off a charged off account? Yeah, you took the debt out, so you owe it. Can I just settle it? Yes, you can. Does it make a difference? Yeah, you took it out again. You should pay it off. But it's fine if you settle it. If they'll take less, that's on them to take less. I was very financially careless, and that's how it happens. Happens to the best of us, even me. Credit score doesn't matter. We have to not care about credit score. Stop worshiping the FICO, as Mr. Ramsey would say. Have $15K in a 401k, which I plan to use for a house down payment. That's a no. You do not pull from a 401k except for retirement because there's penalties involved. So that's a no. And any growth, if that represents any growth at all, you'll have to pay taxes on that in addition to the penalties. So that's a no. You're doing it wrong. You're interpreting the baby steps incorrectly. And perhaps you should listen to a little ditty in my music playlist called How to Do the Baby Steps Right. If some of you older people might remember the fray, How to Save a Life, from, that was at least 90s, I think. Since I ... let's see if there's more nettiness coming here. So we're doing the 500 extra emergency savings per paycheck, and we're also doing we care about the credit score enough to bring it up. And then where were we? Oh yeah, using the 401k money for the house down payment. Dumb as crap. Since I paused my 401k after debt payment, since I paused my 401k, maybe comma there, after debt payment, I will resume the aggressive contributions, hoping that it will get to at least 25 to 30k while I wait for my credit score to get better and while I build up my savings too. You don't have to do any of that dumb crap. You don't have to make your credit score get bigger. That's so dumb. Just save your full emergency fund and then save the down payment, and you're not taking out of your freaking 401k. That's for retirement. These people bash me. Am I on the right track? No, you need to be bashed harder, I think. I mean, I understand if you just misread the baby steps and didn't understand them. But I think a lot of times people aren't trying to understand them, and they're trying to, when they look at it, they somehow in their head make it mean what they want it to mean. And you're doing it wrong. I do have $2,000 in savings on the side, and it doesn't say to do that anywhere. Where would you get that from the baby steps list? Let's look at the actual Ramsey one. It says save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. It doesn't say save $2,000 in a side savings. It doesn't say any of that. So you're doing it wrong. Edit, I'm aware my score is trash, hence wanting to pay off the debt. Well, we don't worry about it. You tell them to use manual underwriting. You can buy a house with manual underwriting. So you're not waiting to score. We're not trying to fix this credit score. We don't give a crap about credit score here. So this person it seems like doing too much, but because, I mean, I understand maybe you get one or two things misunderstood about the baby steps, but everything about the baby steps and the general Ramsey advice, everything about it, and you have it wrong here. So, I mean, it's fine to do it this way, and this is probably very normal. Normal sucks. Let's see, I'm paying off debt so I can rise my credit score. That's not why you pay off the debt. You pay off the debt because you took it out, so you're responsible for it. So that's on you. So you should morally pay it back. But if they'll settle for less, that's fine. I'm not planning to buy a house with this credit score. I want to get it up first. You don't have to get it up. Just pay off your debt and save the down payment. You do not worry about your credit score. You can explain to them that your credit score is low because you stopped playing with debt. You paid off your debt and you're not going to do any more debt except to buy that house you're going to live in. I'm aware that I am young, but keep thinking if I can get my finances in order. Well, Dave tried by making the baby steps for you. He tried to help you. And you either don't want to do it or you're incapable of understanding the advice, or you haven't heard the advice enough, maybe, in conjunction with taking a good look at the baby steps and see if it matches anything that you did. And it doesn't really, except the wanting to pay off debt. That's the right thing to do, of course. I hate it every time when I pay rent that almost equals my mortgage. I pay 2.8K in rent. Probably shouldn't be renting for something that high. Rent lower. And so that might be a problem too. You might be living in a higher cost of living area and not making a higher cost of living salary. It feels like I'm throwing money away. I don't give a crap about that. Doesn't matter. You're not ready to buy a house. You have to have the down payment for one thing and no other debt and a full emergency fund. So I don't care if you'd rather pay it towards your own house. That's fine. I mean, you can do whatever you want to. I support it totally. People can do whatever they want to. They should, in my opinion, follow Dave's advice on everything. But you can do whatever you want to. But why are you posting the Dave Ramsey subreddit then? Where is it? Dave's people bash me. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit and you're not doing things correctly. You're doing it wrong. Rent isn't an inevitable expense, so why not pay it through my own property? Okay, you don't buy a house if you're not ready to yet. You continue renting. And if you don't understand why, I can't help you on that. I can't help you on that. You're only looking at the calculator. You're not looking at risk, and you're not looking at other things. As far as you don't even have the freaking down payment yet, so don't worry about paying a mortgage payment yet, because you're not gonna have a mortgage until you save the freaking down payment. So dumb. People need to quit being dumb. And yeah, I mean, I understand they could not understand and just think they're doing it right. But like I said, I think a lot of it is people don't want to understand the baby steps or the advice. They want it to match what they're doing already. And it's most of the time it's not going to be matching. And you should expect that because most people are not going to take Dave's advice because it deals with more than just using the calculator to figure out your next financial move. That's from Where's X? I don't know. Where is X? It's like Where's Waldo? Baby step 3 feels so much more achievable after completing baby step 2. And yeah, and not only that, when you were doing baby step 2, yes, you didn't have any extra money because you were sending it all to debt. But now your snowball amount on baby step 3, instead of going to debt, no, you're putting it just from your paycheck, from your available cash, you're putting that into your full emergency fund that stays with you. How about that? Isn't that better than sending it to debt? That is. Now, of course, you don't start doing that until you have finished paying off your debt, though. Because debt is the mind killer there. That's similar to something from Dune. What is it? Fear is the mind killer, I think. We just paid off our last debt today, except for the house, and officially moved into baby step 3. Excellent. Before starting Dave Ramsey, a fully funded emergency fund seemed like an unachievable goal. Yep. I mean, but once you get the steps, I mean, that's only step 3. It's pretty easy, except for baby step 2, which is going to take the longest for most people. Or where are we at? Blah, blah, blah. Having that much in savings was so daunting. Now, after putting $4K on debt every single month for a year, so that's $48,000, the emergency fund feels so doable. It is. We're excited to get it done and with more money to work with since we have no debt. Exactly. Baby step 3, flair here. And this person does like to talk about their flair. Let's have a little agua. Suspicious bite, 3657. And we can go on together with suspicious bike. Help on decisions for baby steps. It's all spelled out for you already. It's already decided for you. That sounds familiar. Did I say that already? I probably would have sang the song, though. I recently finished reading The Baby Steps, and I can't stop thinking about it and its principles. Great. And again, do what it says to do, not trying to figure out how it relates to what you are already doing. Just do what it says to do without trying to keep doing what you're doing. Because most of the time, by the time you come across Mr. Ramsey, the reason you came across him is because your way is not working. Oh, let's see. It makes so much sense. It does, and makes me excited to start in this journey. Great. Have a couple options I need help with. On first, eliminating debt. Trying to pay off 2 cars, which one we owe $8K on and the other we owe $12K on. Total payments together is $450 a month. I would like to just pay off both cars and be done. Yeah, I mean, you can do that if you can pay it off in 2 or 3 years. If you can pay all your step 2 debt off in 2 or 3 years, you can keep it. It might make more sense. I mean, the 2 payments together, if they're only $450 a month, and you got 2 income, you got a double income coming in for the household, then that's more feasible, and you don't have to sell a car. Let's see. Both sedans are not all-wheel drive. My wife and I are having our first child in September. She's 29. The child is not 29 yet. Talking about the wife, I know. I was being facetious. She's 29. I'm 27. We are also saving for a home. You cannot do everything all at the same time. That's a no. So see, that's bullcrap. Again, baby step 3B is not even on here, and I guess that's why it needs to be on here. And it also needs to say, baby step 3B, saving for a down payment. Do not do this until you have steps 1, 2, and 3 completed. So, unfortunately, I should just take a screenshot of this and mark it up with all the extra things that need to be next to it because of the way people misunderstand it. And again, maybe I don't have much faith in people. So, but apparently I have too much because I'm expecting them to be able to handle something as simple as the baby steps. I might just be biased because of being experienced with it, for being exposed to it for so long. And of course doing it myself. But when I was doing it myself, I didn't have any problem understanding it. Anyway, so no, everybody, again, I say this all the time, everybody wants to do everything all at the same time. You want to do step 2, and no mention of step 3 there, no mention of full emergency fund. That's fine. We'll just have debt and save for a house and have debt longer. And then buy the house and not have a full emergency fund. And so, hopefully no emergencies happen. So that's dumb as crap. Where are we? Saving for a home and trying to buy within the next year. That's a no. No. Because it's going to take you longer than that to pay off this debt, I'm assuming. To pay off this debt and get your full emergency fund ready. And only then. Everything you've got saved up for the down payment now needs to go to pay off the dumb-ass debt. Where are we? I want to get rid of both car payments, but also I realize and feel I need my wife to have an all-wheel drive car. So we're not even talking about the car. I'm talking about the money you're saving for a house. See, and now you want a new car on top of it. See, you cannot do everything all at the same time. You have to set priorities. And, I won't be mad at you. We can still be friends, as Dave says. We can still be friends if you decide to do something else. But quit trying to be on the Dave Ramsey subreddit and trying to think you're doing the baby steps and you making decisions. That's the whole thing. There are no decisions to make on the baby steps except to either do them or do not do them. And the other decision that you get to make is between 3B, saving the down payment, and step 4. The balance between those two is up to you. You can even do zero investing for 2 years while you save up a larger down payment faster. But that's all you get to decide. Everything else is spelled out for you. How much should I invest? It says 15 freaking percent of gross income right here in baby step 4. Why don't people understand? Oh, was there going to be, let's see if there's going to be more, something else. So now we need a car 2. We're trying to do everything. Try to pay off debt. No emergency fund. We have savings on the side. Want to buy a house. Oh, did I already do that? House, debt, saving for a house. No emergency fund to speak of. I mean, maybe they have one incorrectly. That wouldn't surprise me if they have $20,000 emergency fund already while still having the car debt. That's very normal. So who knows? So there's at least 4, and then the car would be 4 things. You need an all-wheel drive car, so it's safer. We live in Utah and roads can get rough sometimes in winter. If it was okay for your wife to drive, why is it not okay for your baby to be in? That's dumb as crap. Just people love to do that, to get stuff and rationalize it. Oh, it's for the baby. Shut up with that dumb crap. And it would just make me feel better to put her and baby in an SUV. Yeah. Should I pay off one of the cars or sell the other? You can do that. I would not upgrade in cars because you need to get your debt straightened out and then full emergency fund first. So again, you cannot buy a new car, even a new to you car, and save the down payment and buy a house and pay off debt. You cannot do that all at the same time. You need to pick priorities, no matter on whose plan you're following. Dave doesn't have to be involved in this at all. You do not have enough income to do all of this at the same time. So you're doing it wrong. You're thinking about it wrong. And so, again, you just need to stop being dumb. I mean, it's very dumb to think you can do everything all at the same time and to even think about it. Why, anytime you have multiple things going on, why wouldn't you think, oh, I need to have a priority list for that? And of course, Dave has done that for you already, but you can do your own dumb thing if you want. Problem is, I say, if I buy a car in cash, it takes out a savings, especially for a down payment on a home. Thoughts. You're nutty. But I mean, this is very, 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 very normal. And so if you want to be normal and keep doing that, do that. But that's my thoughts on that. You're doing it wrong. And you're nutty. And this is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Why are you here? Why are you asking for advice from people on here? Because theoretically, they would all give you the Ramsey advice. But probably half and half. You probably got half haters on here, probs. Maybe quarter haters, maybe quarter-ish. Maybe probably more like half-ish, probably. A quarter haters, half-ish, and then another quarter doing it correctly. Quantity top 7542. Best budget app. Hi, I'm looking to organize my budget and need help. Husband and I are not always on the same page and need to make sure we're working together to get out of debut. Probably no you meant there. Probably a typo. Supposed to be debt. What is your favorite budget app or program? Well, I don't know about like the other ones, like You Need a Budget, YNAB. What's some other? I can't remember some other ones. A spreadsheet will do whatever you want it to do. But on every dollar, both of you would have access to it on your phones at the same time. So you'd be able to see it anywhere at any time. So if you like need to check it right before you buy groceries, you could do that. So, but as far as a specific thing, I use a spreadsheet for mine, and it does everything that I want it to do. But again, I don't have to like explain it to anybody. I don't have to like, it doesn't affect anybody else because it's just me. The sentiment analysis. No, the sentiment analyst, excuse me. How much in dollar terms are you guys saving? That doesn't matter. That's got nothing to do with you, sir. People are nutty with the comparison. Nutty. My budget is about 4K a month and around 1K per week, roughly. I am able to save about 1K, and I wonder if Dave Ramsey followers would save a lot more. Edit, thank everyone for sharing. I'm on baby step 7, and I'm not asking for advice. Yes, you are, because you want to know how much in dollar terms we're saving. I prefer dollar amount because I don't want lifestyle creep. I'm in sales, and my income are irregular. Incomes are irregular, or income is irregular. Hashtag third grade. All right. So the problem here, my friend, is you're in step 7. Okay. The people that are in lower steps than you should not be saving anything beyond the full emergency fund. And some, maybe sinking fund for new tires. My favorite example for the sinking fund. But any known upcoming expense, you can do a sinking fund for it if you can't cash flow it out of that particular week. So I appreciate that you're on baby step 7, and so you've done a bunch of stuff right, apparently, maybe accidentally. But this is dumb. I mean, do you not understand math? Do you not understand the baby steps where people would not be saving the same as if they were in baby step 7. Now, if you wanted to ask baby step 7 people, that still is not going to be the same because you might have more income than they do. And you can save whatever way you want when you get on baby step 7. That's fine. You know why? Because you don't have any non-mortgage debt. You don't have any mortgage debt. And so having extra savings is not debt leverage. So you're allowed to do whatever you want with it, like have $50,000, in just a regular bank savings account because you feel better about it. That's fine on baby step 7. You would apply that money, of course, if that was above the full emergency fund. You should have no more until step 7. Right? So during step 6, the only savings you should have are, of course, again, any sinking funds for specific things that you have put in your budget, known upcoming expenses, and you would not have any extra savings beyond that emergency fund until the mortgage is paid off. That's debt leverage to do that. So that's a no. So you're nutty. Congratulations on baby step 7, doing some things right. But again, I don't understand how people think incorrectly like this, especially with something so simple. And again, it may be just going back to the fact that I am so familiar with the baby steps and that I've done them. Not all completely, but I'm on 4 and 5. And so I know, and I, of course, understand exactly what to do in the rest of them. So you don't set a savings goal based on what other people are saving. Now, you might look at a percentage, and that would be better if you would put a percentage of what their income is, because then you could maybe look at the percentage and see if that works for you, see if that feels like enough for you. But basically, you wouldn't be doing that either because you would be investing more. So, and you may have other goals as well than just investing. Now you paid your house off. Maybe step 7 is build wealth and give, and how you do that is in the market. Unless you're gonna do real estate. Let's buy real estate, and to do that, you are gonna have to save a lot, and you probably would want to do that in the market too. And it's gonna be over 5 years, so it's fine to use that as a piggy bank for buying your first rental property if that's what you want to do. That's too much trouble for me, though, to do. I wouldn't do that. I would just invest it all. Because mutual funds don't call you in the middle of the night saying that the roof is leaking. Practical Eggplant 68. Dave Ramsey giving advice to social media influencer. Yeah, that did happen recently, I believe. Did anybody hear the advice Dave gave the social media influencer where he basically told them their podcast deal was fake? I don't remember saying that. But hate when he gives advice on things he doesn't truly know about. Well, what do you know about it? He told her that there was no way she could have a deal for $75K. So I don't know that Dave said that, but she probably could have a deal for $75K. She also could have misunderstood the terms as well. You would have to see anything that she signed, and that whoever is giving her the money signed. Whatever agreement that they have, you would have to see that to know for sure. So this person commenting doesn't know either. He mentioned that he did 6 podcasts in a week and got paid nothing. Okay, just because you aren't being compensated or didn't ask doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? But it also doesn't mean that you know what you're talking about. And it seemed like Rachel wanted to speak out to how wrong he was. He just kept drilling it. Disclaimer, his disbelief is that one person could be paid for $75K for one episode of a podcast as a guest. That does seem like a lot. I'm not saying it would never happen, but especially if you've never heard of the person. I mean, I get it if it's somebody really famous, but it does seem unlikely. From, that's his standpoint, makes me believe what? That he's talking about his own compensation from outside podcasts that have asked him to be a guest. Yeah, I mean, because generally you would go on other people's to promote yourself, and they would come on your show or podcast to promote themselves. And it would just be like a 1-for-1. But I'm sure people have been paid for podcast appearances sometimes. But yeah, so I mean, I believe it could be possible, but I would definitely say to the person, you know, you need to have your lawyer check it out. And if you didn't have a lawyer check it out, but when you just signed it, it could be anything in there. It could be anything there, and you wouldn't like be smart enough to catch that it says, you know, $75K if we have X number of viewers, that kind of thing. So it could be anything. I don't know. I don't remember the exact details of the call, so I'm not going to be any good on that. I'll take your word on it, and you know, I mean, the problem with people, especially when they're trying to dig into Ramsey and trying to nitpick on stuff, is that their characterization of it is often wrong. Where, like Dave could have said, what I'm thinking now is that that's very unusual, and so definitely have your lawyer check that out. Unless you've already gotten the cash, you know, that could be another proof of it. But it would just be unusual. And so, but this person says, he basically told them their podcast deal was fake. And so all of this could be this person's own words. So you do have to be careful on the online, because especially when people that don't have, for example, Dave's best interest at heart here, and they're just trying to pick at something, you know, because they're being a hater, basically, you know. I mean, you know, sometimes they just disagree on the advice, and that's fine as well. But, you know, getting hater vibes here. And if you are misstating it, if he didn't say, he basically told them their podcast was fake. If he didn't say it was fake, then that's not what he said. And so I would have to know exactly what he said to comment exactly on it. But the things that I said are the different options that I thought of on that. Miserable Cancel 8749. How to live on cash only. What else you gonna live on? Credit. That's dumb as crap. Don't you see how that's not sustainable? Is the word I was looking for? It's the word I was looking for. It's more. There are ellipses. Let's look at the whole darn thing. It's not that long. Oh, and it's a locked pose. Somebody got nasty in the comments, I bet. I retired 11 months ago and have moved into the spend phase of life. Well, you can't do that if you don't have enough in retirement to do that spending phase of life. If you are just you can't just say, "Oh, I'm retired, so now I should be able to buy whatever I want to." That's dumb as crap thinking. Withdrawing according to the so-called 4% rule, and so far it's working. Okay, so if you are taking out 4% and you can pay your expenses with that, then what's the problem? Also collecting Social Security. Okay, so that's even more. Current age 66 and a half. I was doing Ramsey long before he showed up. Right? God's and Grandma's advice. Been around long before Mr. Ramsey was born even. My father taught me to never get into the credit card minimum payment trap. Great. It's been literally years since I paid interest on a credit card. Oh, but you still took one out anyway? Even though that's what Daddy taught you? That was dumb. I still have a mortgage due to a job change and cross-country move at age 57. That might not have been a smart thing to do either. That may have set you back financially. But it would be paid off in 3.5 years. Okay, great. 3.5 years to 10 years. Or 3.5 years, and that makes it 10 years to pay off a 30-year note. Okay, so paying off a 30-year note like a 10, I guess. So, but if you're saying it'll be paid off in 3.5 years to 10 years to pay anything in between there, then that's nutty. Let's see, 66. So that's 9 years. So that's like 19 years. So you're already over the 15. So you're doing it wrong. Also, never earned more than 90K per year. You don't have to. You just have to live under that. And also do the investing so you have enough to retire with the dignity, as Mr. Ramsey says. My wife never earned over 50K. Okay, dual income. 3 kids through college. Great. Total retirement funds are right at $1 million. And so that generates $100,000 a year. So if you never earn more. So the problem is you guys made $140,000 a year. But that does include the mortgage payment, so maybe it'll work out. She draws a state teacher pension, no Social Security for her, so it is possible. Okay. All that being said, in a practical way, how do you actually live on a cash basis in today? In today's economy, maybe you meant today? Because otherwise it would be on a cash basis today, or these days. It's surprising how many places in today will, maybe not I was going to say American first language. Apparently not me either. Apparently English not first language, but I don't know. Where's it? In today will only accept plastic for payment and discourage cash and absolutely refuse to take a check. Get a debit card. That's a thing called a debit card that you can get on your checking account. I mean, some answers are just so easy. It's weird. You did a lot of typing to get to that. Oh. One moment. Alrighty, so sorry about that. I had to sneeze, could you tell? Where were we? Okay, debit card, yeah. So, you're the only person in the world not having heard of a debit card? With the collapse of retail shopping and the near requirement to buy more and more needs online, no store near me, actually, that's your fault because you moved there purposefully cross country, right? So that's on you. Carries basic Wrangler jeans in my size. How do you ditch the credit card? It's called a debit card. So dumb. So dumb. Many of you are saying that as long as I track my spending, been doing that for 25 years, in Quicken, okay, and pay off the credit card balance every month, then no problem. No, you don't have to do that. You can get a debit card on a checking account. Dumb, dumb, dumb. It's probably a good idea to use debit card for every in-person transaction and only use credit card for online things. No, you don't have to do that either. You don't have to play footsie with the banks, as Mr. Ramsey says. You don't have to do that. If you're scared about giving your debit card number to anybody, you can do like, give your debit card number or your checking account number to a platform like PayPal and then pay with PayPal on these different platforms. And if you don't want to do that, guess what you can do? You can take your debit card and go on the Amazon, if you trust Amazon, and you can buy a Visa gift card, and then you can use the Visa gift card to pay for anything on any, because that only would have a limited amount on it. And so that's what you can do for that. So, and how, I mean, I guess up there, I mean, 10 years older than I am, and, I don't know how you don't know this stuff already. But I guess it could happen. So thanks everyone. Looking for December 2028 when the mortgage is paid. I'm basically paying 3 times the required payment every month. That's great. And that's how you pay it off early for a 30-year mortgage that you shouldn't have gotten anyway, doing it wrong, but now you're fixing it by paying it off faster than 15 years apparently. If we can believe that. But yeah, it's called a debit card. So, and I understand. I mean, there's fraud happens, and so I understand you not wanting to give it to all the sites, but it's Amazon. Come on. Oh, what are we doing here? We are illustrious stay 9844. 401k limits versus high salaries. I keep hearing on the show that you should save 15% of your gross salary. This person just said salary. Your gross income for retirement. I also recently heard them mention, #mention, what up Matty Bags, to a doctor that as your salary increases, your retirement savings should increase proportionally. True. They also suggest that if you start saving late in life, you can still catch up. You can. However, with the 401k contribution limit being only $23,500 per year, how do high earners save for retirement, or are they just referring to investing in general as retirement savings? Yeah, at that point, yeah, because if you run out of tax advantage retirement accounts that you can open, because you make too much money, then you can just open a regular brokerage account and you'll pay taxes on it, on the contributions, like every other bit of money that comes out of your paycheck. You already pay taxes on that, and then when you invest it, and then when you take it out, you'll pay taxes on it again in the traditional brokerage account. In a Roth account, you pay taxes along with every bit of your rest of your check. You pay taxes on the contributions, and then you don't have to pay on the gains. On the 401k, you don't pay taxes on the contribution amounts, but you do have to pay on the taxes on the gains when you take them out. They're fine until you take them out. Trust me, politicians have been talking about, and they want to charge you taxes on unrealized gains, but that's so dumb. Because if the market crashes, that's immediately gone, and then you have nothing. So why did you have to pay taxes on that? They're going to give you a refund for it at that point? I don't think they are. So yeah, so that's what you would do. And you could also, if you were earning that high, you could do backdoor Roths as well. You could have the 401k and put the 23,500, and then you could do a backdoor Roth if you make too much to qualify to open a regular Roth IRA. But somebody under 50 can put in, I believe that's 7,000, or is it up to 8,000? Something like that, 7 or 8,000. So that's 7 or 8,000 more. And so, trust me, you making more so that 15% is too much to go for the limits on your 401k and IRA. If you make too much for that, and you still have money of the 15% left over, then you don't have a problem. That's not a problem here. Basically, again, you just got to open up a traditional brokerage account. Excuse me, not traditional, just a brokerage account. And that's non-tax advantaged investing, like the retirement accounts are. And it'd be great if I would go back to the Bry, $20. Wow, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Don't see enough in here, sir. And I'm not just saying that because of the super chat. New Balance dads sell cars or pay off credit cards first. Trying to pay off debt as fast as possible with first baby on the way. Well, in case you never heard, and again, it doesn't say this on the baby steps, but so if you have an emergency, you pause the baby steps. Don't worry, your debt will still be there. Your emergency fund, full emergency fund, will still have to be done once mom and baby get home safe. You can still invest when mom and baby get home safe, but you stop everything and just pile up cash while you have any sort of emergency, and pregnancy applies. They call emergency storm mode and baby's stork mode. And so you should just be piling up cash. So you're not doing any dumb crap. And, oh, we need to try to get this done for baby. Nope. You're not doing any dumb crap here. And then especially you try to do too many things at the same time. Financing a Honda that we owe $23K on, sell it. But it's only worth $18K, sell it. And are paying $450 a month. We also have a Toyota lease that has 2 years left. And paying $450 a month. That was so dumb. I hope that was all before you guys heard of Dave Ramsey. If not, you did not listen to the right episodes, apparently. Local Toyota dealership is willing to take the leased Honda back for no charge. Interesting. That's interesting because normally there would be an issue with that. So, yeah, I don't know how that works with leases. I don't know if a local Toyota dealership can take that back and just clear it with whoever you leased it from. I mean, I guess if you leased it from Toyota, I guess they could possibly do that, but I would look way more into that so you don't get screwed over on that deal. We have $24K in credit card debt that is charging 0% for the next 8 months. Should we save up money so that we can sell the cars and buy cheaper ones for cash? Or should we pay off the credit cards first and then focus on the car? We don't have any money saved at the moment, but can save around $1K per month. I will also be getting 5 to 10K bonus in June. Okay, so again, in the event of pregnancy, baby steps are paused. And don't worry, again, like I said, if you're in baby step 2, when you pause them, don't worry. When mom and baby get home safe from the hospital and everything's great, you take that pile of cash and you throw it hard at whatever baby step you're on. So if you're on baby step 2, then hopefully you have enough piled up cash that will completely get you out of debt, hopefully. But you throw it at whatever baby step you're on. And it doesn't change the baby step that you're on just because you have X amount of money too. You're not, oh, well, this would be about what we need for the full emergency fund. We should do that first. No, that's dumb as crap. It's an ordered list, people. How about we do it in order? Even if you're not I can't say smart enough because it doesn't say here. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time. Excuse me. One at a time for the first 3 baby steps. Step 1, done. Then only then do you move on step 2. You do not use the $1,000 that you saved in step 1 to pay off debt. That is your starter emergency fund. That stays there forever. Then you just pay off the debt. That takes the most time, other than maybe step 6, maybe paying off the mortgage. But that takes the most time. And of course, step 4 is eternal. That happens forever unless you need to keep that money in retirement to live on instead of investing it and making more money. That's part of the build wealth and give thing. So steps 1, 2, and 3, you do them one at a time without even thinking about higher steps. No investing, no saving for kid college, no putting extra to the mortgage, no extra savings. So you don't have any more than $1,000 in savings until you get to step 3, and that's when you do the 3 to 6 month of expenses for your fully funded emergency fund, and then you don't have any extra savings other than that until except for at that point you can start doing sinking funds. So sinking funds would be allowed, like if you need new tires or something, fine. But you would not have like you'd not have like $10,000 extra saved just because you want to. You would apply that money to steps 4, 5, and 6 instead. And so steps 4, 5, and 6 you do all at the same time. 1, 2, and 3, one at a time without doing higher steps. 4, 5, and 6, you do those all at the same time, but in that priority order. So of whatever snowball amount that you were previously throwing to the debt and then previously throwing to the full emergency fund, now you're throwing it at 4, 5, and 6. And so you put 15% of your gross household income into retirement. And so that's what you would do first. And if you don't have enough money out of your snowball amount to do 15%, and again, it doesn't have to be like 15% of your year at one time. No, that means 15% out of each paycheck. So maybe people get that, make that mistake as well too. So no, that's only 15% out of your paycheck each month. And so then whatever you have left that month, then if kid college applies, if you have kids and you want to help them, then you would address kid college. And the younger they are, the smaller the amount per month you have to put in. Like if they are toddlers still, you can prioritize paying off the house over step 5. But the idea is why it's in front of paying off the house is because that should be a lower overall amount. And because if they're teenagers, they're going to need it sooner. And so at that point, you might want to put more money into it, into step 5 then to pay off the mortgage. All right. What time is it? Oh, all right. Thanks again. Today's Ramsey Show After Show brought to you by Brian Adams. It does not cut like a knife. Cuts pretty good. Oh, Brian has more free time, so we'll be in here more often. Thank you so much, sir. Do I do that? Yeah, I can do that. I can click on that. And I can heart that. Thank you so very much, sir. Very kind of you. So, anyway, the answer to that was to neither. And this often happens when people call up the Ramsey Show. It isn't any of the crap that you put as options that you should do. You should do something entirely different, which of course is pause the baby steps since you have a bambino on the way. So what do we got? Should I take out a loan to buy a car? I wonder if this person might be the one exception that we would say it would be okay. I wonder if he would be the same exception. I don't think he will be. We'll read all this crap, though, to see what the reasoning is. 23. Yeah, kids, am I right? Kids crazy. And wife and phone use. What? All right, that'll be interesting, won't it? Men's, am I right? Worried about wife using phone. Well, we'll see what that's about. All right, once again, coming to you live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link is in the ticker below, also in the video description, as are all of these links. Email address is coachstevemoney@gmail.com if you have any financial questions or anything about anything on my YouTube channel, anything on your mind that you'd like to hear my input on. I got a little bit of time. I can invest that with you. Whoops. Ran my mouth too much. Said today in the Ramsey Show chat, I do like to talk a lot. Where were we? We did email address. Next part coming up is donations. And in addition to these, of course, like Brian Adams did not cut me like a knife. It was great. Did a super chat. PayPal.me/Coach Steve Money for donations. Alternatively, CashApp at $Coach Steve Money. A Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, the Ramsey Show After Show, Monday through Friday, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Right when the Ramsey Show ends on YouTube, and that's when I will start my YouTube stream. And then also starting Thursday, and that will be probably nightly at 7 p.m. At least for Thursday and Friday, it'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be streaming the brand new release game on PC, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. First time it's on PC. Playthrough and game and show talk. So as I said, I like to talk. It's my favorite game. It's a really great show, and so there will be lots of talking about it. Alrighty, so if you'd like to join me for that, please do. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.